Hey you guys, it's MJ. How are you? So today is one, I just wanted to start the share by saying today is amazing. It's just a beautiful day and it's like really spring and I'm really noticing like the sunrise is happening way earlier, which is kind of cool. I'm like, oh, it's still before 8 a.m. and it's bright and sunny outside. How exciting. Okay, so today's share is again with this recent monumental vibrational shift and the clarity that is coming with interactions and energy streams, and in a really simple way, you guys, when we make the transition to being about like how I can get more stuff from the world to how I can give more of self and recognize that it is that shift which liberates us, and it means that we're sharing in the highest order. And that ultimately is what service is. You know, people talk about be in service to your highest good, which is the highest good of all. Misery, struggle, hardship, hooking into different behavioral patterns. Hey, Rochelle, how are you? Yay, it's been a while. That is not in service to our highest good. That actually keeps us in separation and it keeps us in codependent and toxic relationships. So when we recognize those toxicities are coming up, or those densities, or we're feeling low, or we're feeling confused, and we're feeling doubt, then that's about us going back to old patterns, and it's ultimately right there in how we feel. Feeling expansive, feeling wonderful. Ooh, exciting. Drop me an email, Rochelle. I know, right? Like just the epicness, the grandeur of these deeper drops and these more expansive awakenings and realizations are just incredible. So really simply what's coming through again from this new, more loving perspective, an integrated perspective, which is just so beautiful and pure, and it's all about worth and love and self-respect, and it's so weird. This stuff is just so fucking weird because like I would probably have always considered an irrational logical mind since like high school. I would have considered myself like, yeah, I'm an empowered woman, I'm independent, and da 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 da. But my God, I would never have like consciously realized how much burden I was carrying inside my body, how much pain I was carrying inside my body, how many distorted beliefs I was carrying about myself in this reality, right? But yet that's the condition. That seems to be the systematic indoctrination of how we live. So somebody like me who's awakened and gone through this whole journey kind of on the, well, not kind of, fully on the fringes of normal conventional society, and like popped out the other side, and then kind of like looking back, or like shining light back into this collective, my brothers and sisters, like that's the fucking legit truth, right? Of the love vibes is like, for me on this like spiritual journey, I knew when I went to India, when I spent time on ashrams, when I was kind of doing the whole like retreat away from civilization, I knew that that wasn't a home for me. Like I always knew that this training, this spiritual journey that I was heading down, for me in my heart, was leading me to like, just how can we shine as much light for as many people as possible, and I knew that just living on an ashram wouldn't gonna help people because it's too kind of far out, but making it practical, making it understandable, making it fun, making it just make sense to people weirdly in a very selfish way of like, don't you want to be happy, don't you want to be joyful? Well, your joy, your genuine happiness is joy and genuine happiness for everybody. The weird paradox, did a share about this yesterday, is like every time we have this desire, we usually have to overcome some limitation. And it's when we approach those fears or those limitations is often where we kind of jump back. Oh, what do you mean by that? I'm curious. Don't let your light dim. It's noticeable. Well, yeah, and I mean, certainly we can feel that, and I mean, as a witness, I could say, like, recently having undergone quite a dynamic shift with somebody who was really close to me, and it's true, like, you can tell that somebody's masked or wearing a shade or in doubt. Like you can, like literally their vibration looks more dim, doesn't it? And I had a really cool analogy about like a hallway being lit up and how we do really light one another up. So, as a reflection for some of you on this empowerment journey, I'm just like amazed, and this would be part of that old story of like men and women and like the games we play and how we don't quite get along. And something that I'm noticing, again, I'm female. I just love you, Rochelle. Message me. It has been a while. I'm curious now. I'm like, what have you shifted? What have you seen into? And something that you messaged me about, again, the totality that we are other. Like that just, it just keeps like, I am everything that I'm witnessing and seeing, and navigating that is, the more you own your own ability to navigate in love and creativity, life just becomes fun and innocent and joyful again. And like really, really, truly, you can like love everybody. Even when they behave kind of shit, right? Massive love for you, Rochelle. Even when people kind of behave poopy, you can still be like, okay, you're behaving like that because there's some deep wound inside that you don't want to look at. So you can still love people even though they're acting out. Like that's the level for me, the level of love and compassion I carry is like, I wouldn't even feel like compassion for the baddies. You know, I'd feel compassion for people who are raging wars. Because to me, I'm just like, oh my God, they must be so dark inside. And what I've realized, again, broadening the mindset massive, is that I have to accept that some people that gives them joy. Like for some people, powering over, living in fear, using other beings to like manipulate and suck the energy out of them, that suits them. And what I realize is like, we live in an infinite universe, so I can be like, okay, you people can do that. I don't operate like this. And we're gonna move this earthly civilization into a loving harmonic. That is not love harmonic, so feeding off of each other, polarized, division, energy suckers, like manipulation, that's 3D, right? That's from the illusion of separation, where we want to move to the illusion of unified field. We want to move to the illusion of oneness and integrity and love, because some of us come from that place. We come from this place of union, this place of joy and respect and love. Yes. Actually, Rochelle, that's incredible. That's a huge reflection, because there's a tribe member who also had a huge breakthrough about me, or like seeing self and not liking, and then like rise, like really facing it and then rising up. So again, and I had this as well, that there's just a huge 7-year cycle. Well, would you look at that? Right now I'm getting that hugely, like in the collective. There's just such a dynamic and powerful purge cleanse happening, and it's different shades. I'm noticing it's not as obvious in maybe how we thought it would come out for us, but seeing shades of our human pain body. And that's where I talked about this before. Like for me, what was uprooting was like betrayal, deception, lies, deceit, which obviously helped me to remove my mask of naivety and making excuses for people. I don't need to do that. I just need to know self, you know, and honor self in love and unity, so that I can see the energetic acting out with clarity, because I'm not self-protecting. I'm not protecting the ego. And that's something with this energy. I'll look back, because this was actually just still, I'm working with like, obviously putting myself on this public platform and getting messages from people, and just like the interesting thing of like even not really knowing people. And then this is in 11 years. I got closure last year 10. So you're a little bit like me, like you do the timeline loops, and if you're noticing, what I feel definitely that this phase that we're in now, especially the birthing, we're in March now, right? And we've just hit the Chinese New Year, so we're all coming into like brand new cycles. And You mentioned 13, you mentioned 7, you mentioned 11. And so there's like, what I've noticed is that I've also done that where I've looked at, okay, well, here's a 14-year cycle, here's a 7-year cycle, here's a 5-year, here's a 2-year. But what I recognize is happening, and I can feel it tangibly in our bodies, like, um, we're doing a culmination of multiple cycles at once now, the year 10. So all of our shitty lower level stuff that we've dealt with most of our lives, those are coming to closure and completion, and in essence in our energy field dropping out. So they're like, you can imagine them just being stored in the Earth Akashic records, and all of that past creative energy is now gone. So here now we're existing in our higher dimensional frequency or higher dimensional consciousness. All about numbers. Ooh. That's funny, but it's not funny as in like it's relevant because I recently kind of pulled back and pulled in with numbers, but I'm aware that it's not fully, like it's not really in me, but I think perhaps that's part of it, is that there's a lot in numerology, there's a lot in us assessing the numbers in our lives because they're part of our creation, right? So fill me in on your right, I know, like it's like the crystals and the numbers and the astrologers and all of that stuff is really coming out, so I'd love to have more discussion with you about that, Rochelle, for sure. Arrogance and manipulative tactics. I will. So we rise, we expand in love, we become more aware, we're doing all this beautiful work, and it is amazing. And then what is incredible to me on the public platform is me now being fully in my integrity and like just noticing the cheeky kind of manipulative ways that people have in trying to get stuff from one another and their tactics, right? And I guess I just this morning, I did get a message through and I just had that reaction of like, okay, like I've never even met you. Like I don't know you. You've messaged me and I've been kind and messaged back, and then people and again, it's just amazing to me, right? Like, and this is like, Rochelle, we've not met in the flesh, but we've engaged like this, right? And there's an ease of exchange versus like a bombardment from somebody who's I'm not sure, right? But there again, I feel like there's a little bit of a collective clearing regarding the male-female dynamic of how, for me as a woman, me stepping into my power is something being like, what? I'm sorry, what do you think I owe you? Hence the title of the share. How can I serve you? How can I serve you in this system, in this totally insane world? Right? Where I'm expressing my truth from my heart and getting kickback from people like attacking or being angry or saying how dare you or you're wrong or whatever. And then in the flow of the vortex, what I'm noticing are people like Rochelle, just amazing people naturally gravitating. It's like, yes, here's the reflections. Here's the people that I've known existed all along, but because I wasn't being my truth, they weren't able to see me, right? So now all the rockin' new paradigm fucking leaders are showing up and rocking it out, and just mutual desire to serve greater good of all by sharing from the heart. Exactly. 100%, right? So the sharing from the heart, but then when you have that clarity, you can really feel the lower energies, you could say. You can really feel people just playing little games. And that was it. This like bombardment. And then eventually I was just like, whoa, I can't, because that's energy. When you're exchanging via any channel of social media, that's energy and time. And yeah, it's just interesting to me, people that assume that I'm supposed to give them my time and my energy, and that like, and then that was it. It was almost like I could feel this other tactic of like, well, since you're not messaging me, I'm gonna delete you, and yeah. And I could feel the kind of edge. I'm like, I've never met you, I don't even know you, and yet here you are trying to give me some guilt trip because I'm not interested, I have love. Like, that's the thing, you guys, that's the truth. That's what discernment is. So self-awareness and discernment, you guys, because clarity of self is how you can just be present but not feed people's pain bodies. And pain body is all out of unworthiness, and any level of unworthiness action or yeah, pattern is codependency on some level. It's like trying to get something from other, rather than knowing self is creator. Self is creation. We create the totality of our experience. I know it's fucked up to try to like really get that, but once you keep going and keep going and keep going, eventually you're like, oh my God, it's all true. I am the fullness of that which I see. I project the creations. Even when I say this kind of stuff, guys, I know that I've pulled that behavior in to clear out more density in myself, to become more powerful in myself, because I've been unworthy. I've been hanging out in the low vibration for most of my life, in fear, in worry. Aw, I would not delete you. Aw. And that's something as well. I noticed that sometimes when I'm like in my power and assertive, people are like, whoa, you're bitchy and angry. I'm like, no, I'm just saying how I feel. And really, the more I do that, the more the people who really want to do the work show up. And the people who are just trying to get something, they fall out. They fall away. Because I don't play the game. And it's so, so liberating. And that's the legit truth, Rochelle. Like, honest reflections, it's just, there's no game. There's no sales pitch, you know? You know? But you can buy my book. I would love for you to have my book. That's amazing. And deleting, it's like, I remember seeing something by Bridget Nelson, who I've met. She's a really lovely spiritual teacher. And I remember her in one of her videos just being like, you know, I won't deny you. I won't. And that, what she meant was like, because she's become more famous on YouTube, people like have different reactions around her. And what she's saying is like, I'm a human and I'm not, there's not this mask of like, I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. I'm a celeb and so I don't talk to people. What she's saying is I hold space and I'll acknowledge you. I will be present with you, right? And yet, I'm sure at the same time, she doesn't feel the need to respond to every message, to get back to everybody, but it's just, and that's the thing, what I'm noticing, the more I'm being guided back into the world, when I meet people, it makes me want to cry, you guys. It's when I meet people and I'm just myself and they say, hey, oh, what do you do? And I say, well, here's a flyer. Check it out. See what you think. And then they do. And it's because I'm genuinely kind. It's because I genuinely care about humanity. I genuinely care about this planet. And because of all of that, because of how much love and compassion there truly is, and I've truly integrated, not just in my fucking head, in my whole beingness now. My whole beingness is a celebration of love and compassion. Now it's like my beingness will not tolerate the manipulation of my past. It will not tolerate my own naivety of making excuses for other, you know, because I am that and I no longer need to make excuses for who I am. So my old self in these last little interactions, my old self is showing itself to me and I'm saying, oh, I've so made peace with you, because I'm aware of the tactic, but it's not triggering the energy response. So it's not triggering this like, should I respond? Oh no, should I feel bad? It's like, oh, I see what that energy is. And so I send you love, but I cannot engage. So you see, you feel there's like massive clarity there and it is beautiful. Yeah, it's like that, isn't it? Well, and that's again this navigating so the mazy world is unique in their own. Yeah, because we are, and it's just literally creating our own world. But certainly, I think what's so liberating as well is like dissolving the illusion, that illusion of fame, because that's such a construct of the system, isn't it? That's something that I've definitely worked through over the years, and massive part of total withdrawal was like releasing this idea of idol worship, that we're better or worse, or that at all, you know, like basically in my perspective, it's just like healing. We all just are, there's pain and we just need to look at the pain and love the pain and love each other through this process. And like, stand up and show up for one another, but also not take the bullshit. Because once you've dealt with your own bullshit, the other people's bullshit, you're just like, oh, you're still in your bullshit. I love you, but I don't want to hang out with it because you're gonna get your shit all over me. But you see the energy. It's not judging the shit. It's not being like, oh, you still drink coffee? Wow, you're not as fucking spiritual as me, are you? Okay, that's why. So she's saying that's why I like others take credit if it's mine. Now that's a journey. For me, it would just be about how it feels in my heart, because I've had times where it has been like that. Like, it's okay, you can have that blog, or you can share that as your own. Da, da, da. And then there was a point where I was like, that doesn't resonate with me. I don't think I can do that. It doesn't feel aligned. So take credit. Oh no! Oh no! Have I totally... I know, right? But I've had that, girlfriend. I've fucking had that. I've had people like laugh at me and be like, huh. Or you can give yourself, and I don't know. It's miraculous, to be honest, because I just have to accept all of it. And I'm really, people who know me in the deeps, they know I got my own shit that I'm dealing with. I just don't let it hold me back or stop myself from being able to show up how I want to show up, which is like this. I'm an earthling. I'm having a human being experience, and so I res with humans, and I feel into like all of that. And what's just beautiful is like feeling innocent and free, but also like really, really strong and empowered to like just see energies for what they are and be like, I love you, been there, done that, don't need to go back there. Especially just like I'm just kind of amazed. Like I'm fascinated by how it's all playing out, especially just flow with the soul. Exactly. That's what it feels like, doesn't it? It feels like you're just flowing with your soul and it's guiding you, and you don't really have to struggle. But again, as a female in the world, in the Western world, I'm really aware of like these little subtle energy anger triggers when like these different men are coming in, just kind of energetically coming in, being like, give me this, give me that, do this, say it like this, say it like that, what's wrong, you need help, you blah blah blah. And I'm just like, who are you? Why do you think you know me? Why do you think that I have to give you something? Why do you feel the right to tell me what to do? And that's, again, my previous story of being a slave to men, being a slave to authority figures, being a slave to the system, not knowing how to be who I am, right? And the more I get to know who I am, I can see my old world. And it's so obvious, the disparity is so obvious that it's easy, it's fucking effortless to let it go, because I'm like, oh man, I know what that is and I don't need it anymore. That's energetic transformation, right? I don't blame the people. They're simply people reflecting back a part of myself, So let that go, let that energy go, and then keep opening to new experiences, which has been coming in thick and fast in this month of March. Thanks for joining, Rochelle, and whoever else is there. I can see 2 people. I love you guys loads. I'm mega, hell yeah, Jenna Marbles. Guys, I love you, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Rochelle, thank you for joining. Whoever else is there, giving you a big virtual hug. Everyone, I know, and that's where like some people don't quite get where I do that. It's like it doesn't matter, no grievance. I have to move forward with love and resolution, right? So every grievance has to be released because I am the one. Rochelle, mega love vibration. Have a beautiful day. I look forward to seeing you real soon. Keep me posted. Love you guys. Bye.